You want to say hi to everyone?
Hi.
It's Erin here with Austin, and we are making chicken quesadillas today on our school cancellation kids cooking lessons. This is our 8th lesson. If you haven't seen them yet, we did 5 lessons last week and we're doing 5 this week. So we'll have 10 kids cooking lessons available for you as school is canceled. Our school got extended. We got an email about that this morning, so the cancellations are going on. I know some schools are, indefinitely or for the end of the year, and so we're just here taking it week by week, and we are going to make chicken quesadillas. Have you ever made chicken quesadillas before? You have made them. I've made them. Have you made them?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So we're going to teach you how to do that. We are going to learn how to, here's what we're going to learn. Let me talk about what we're going to learn today. Then, and hold up that so they can see. If you haven't downloaded this, we do have ingredient lists for both the lessons from last week as well as the lessons from this week. There's a blog post link here. It's got like school cancellation, kids cooking lessons, I think. That is, you can download these and then you can see all of the lessons we've already done. That's kind of our hub. Everything's in one place for you. So you can go download that. You can do these anytime you want. You can catch the replays on YouTube, here on Facebook, and on our blog. So should we tell them what we're going to do today? What we're going to learn? We are going to learn how to shred chicken. We kind of talked about this with the shredded chicken tacos. We're going to actually show you today how I like to shred chicken. We need the chicken pieces to be pretty small so that we have the right consistency to the filling that is going to go inside of the quesadilla. Okay, so we have rotisserie chicken here and we need to shred that and make it smaller. We're going to do that. We're going to talk about the filling. I said it needs to be kind of thin, and I also want you to think simple. You don't need to add a whole lot to make a delicious quesadilla. We'll also share I have a couple of links here on the video, but pretty much what I love about quesadillas is anything can go inside the quesadilla, which makes it really great. If you have leftovers, you can just flip it into a quesadilla. As long as you've got some cheese on hand and some tortillas, you can take leftovers, meats and veggies, or just meat, meats and beans, whatever you got, and flip it into a quesadilla. We're going to talk about 2 ways to cook them. The first way I'm going to show you is if you're cooking them for a crowd, I recommend doing them in the oven because you can cook more at once, okay? If you're just making this quesadilla for yourself or it's just like a quick snack, I'm going to also show you how to make it in a skillet, okay? Skillet works really well if you're maybe doing 2 quesadillas. I don't think you could do more than 2 in a skillet. So, if you're making for our whole family, I would do it in the oven because there's 6 of us and we eat a lot of quesadillas. So I'm going to show you how to do that. We're going to start with the oven way so that we can have a quesadilla live here with you. So the first thing we need to do is turn on the oven. And then the second, we'll show you the oven way, and then we'll show you the skillet way to do this. Now, before we jump in, my disclaimers, because I've already said this before, but I'm saying it again, because if you're watching this for the first time, you've not heard me say this, but parents, your kids are learning how to cook. In the case that we have here today, we'll have a hot skillet. We don't have any raw meat here today, and we're not going to be cutting anything today with a sharp knife. However, you still need to supervise, but not do the work for your kiddos, okay? Unless they need assistance, kind of guide their hand if you need to. Kiddos, I want to encourage you, if your parents try to get in the way or try to do it for you, which sometimes we do that. I know I do. Do you remember what you're supposed to do if I try and take over?
No.
Do you remember what you're supposed to say? He said you can't. You politely tell your mom or your dad or grandma or whoever's with you that you're learning and to please don't take over and let me learn how to do this. Let me make a mess, all those things, okay? So I'm going to give you permission to do that, but you need to be polite and respectful, please. Okay. All right, those are my disclaimers and my rules for you. Our friend Jackson is here. You say hi to Jackson? All right, so let's get started. The first thing, Bubba, we need to do is turn on the oven to 400 degrees. When I bake a quesadilla, I bake it for 400 degrees for 7 minutes. Then I take the pan out, flip them over, and then 7 more minutes, okay? So we need to turn on, I like to do 400 because that gives it a little bit of crispiness, if you will. Okay, so we're gonna hop down and not fall like we did last time. Okay, let's turn on the oven. I'm gonna show you how to do it. Can you find the word bake? Yep, touch bake, and then 4, 0, 0, and then start. Perfect. All right, so the oven is preheating, and while the oven is preheating, we're gonna go ahead and get the filling and the quesadillas ready to go. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to shred this chicken. This is rotisserie chicken, and these chunks are way too big to put inside of a quesadilla, okay? So what we're gonna do, and I'm gonna have to do a little camera finagling because of the way the plugs work in our kitchen over here. All right, let me see if that'll catch what I need it to catch. Here we go. All right, there's my desk where my computer normally is, over there. Okay, so you can see I have right here my KitchenAid stand mixer, and this is my favorite way to shred chicken. Bubba, why don't you come on over here, okay? I like to shred chicken in here because you can get it pretty fine. You also need to be very careful how long you do this, because you can really shred it and almost like into, not a powder, but into a really fine shredded chicken. So you'll want to pay close attention while it's running. If you don't have a stand mixer, you could use a hand mixer, or you can just use forks or a sharp knife and cut the chicken up into really, 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 really small pieces. Okay, so we're going to do ours in the stand mixer because it's easiest, and you love to turn this guy on, don't you? He loves to help me with cookies with this. Okay, so could you please, Austin, very carefully take the bowl of chicken and pour it, this is about 2 cups, pour it into the stand mixer. Okay, very good. You wanna go put that in the sink? Nancy, thank you. I saw your order and I got it ready. And as soon as we're done here, I'll get it over to the post office. Woohoo, that is really, really cool of you that you're doing that. Okay. Do you know how to put that on? This is just the regular mixer paddle for the stand mixer. I know it's kind of a funny angle here. Okay, push it up and twist. Up. Up, 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 up. No, push in. Sorry, in and twist. There you go. All right, can you let this down very gently? Perfect. And do you remember how to lock it in place? Do you remember how to flip this switch right there? Now this won't move. This is stuck. Okay, so we're gonna turn it on to low speed. Hey, Christina, glad to see you again. We're gonna turn it on to low speed. And Austin, I want you to watch what happens to the chicken as this goes. And we want the chicken to be small so that we can mix it up with some salsa and seasoning, and that's gonna be the inside of our quesadilla. So you wanna turn that on? Yep. Ginger, we are making quesadillas, and right now we are shredding some chicken that's going to be the filling for the quesadillas. All right, that's getting smaller. It doesn't usually take more than 30 seconds, maybe a minute, depending on how small you want the chicken pieces to be. Again, if you leave it in too long, then the chicken will be too small, too shredded, if that can be a thing. I think that's probably good. You think that's good? Okay, you want to turn it off? Actually, wait, there's still one more piece. Let me move it. I'm going to move this. Don't put your hand in here if this is on, guys. This piece is a little bit. Let's run it for another 10 seconds or so. Okay, perfect. All right, do you unlock it and lift it up. And you can shake that off. There you go. Remember how it's funny. You have to push and twist. Yeah. Pull it down. There. Uh-oh. There you go. Perfect. All right. So now we're going to move back over so that you guys can see a little bit better what we're going to do. I'm going to leave the shredded chicken in here and mix in our other ingredients. So hang tight. Let me flip this over. Can you move your stool, bud? All right. So now you can see here's the shredded chicken. And what we're going to do is we're going to add taco seasoning and a little bit of salsa. Okay. So we're going to measure out 1 tablespoon of taco seasoning. If you have, this is about a half of a packet. I have my own homemade taco seasoning. Okay. But you can just use, I'll put the link to our homemade taco seasoning. Okay. What we need to do now, Bubba, is I need you to measure 1 scoop, 1 full scoop, and then drop that in. That's good. Drop that in, sprinkle that in. And then you see that salsa over there? I need you to pour that, you can just pour the whole bowl in. You could scoop if you want. Pour the whole bowl in. And then I want you to mix it up. All that together. Can you combine that salsa, taco seasoning, and shredded chicken is what we have happening right here. Here is my link for my homemade taco seasoning. You probably have all these spices in your pantry or cupboard. You could just make it right now. All right, Bubba, how's that mixing coming along? Perfect. Our oven is preheating. We are mixing up what's going to be the filling for our quesadillas. All right. Look at you go, pro man. Can you put that up here right underneath the camera so everybody can see what a good job you've done here? So that is going to be the combination. Before I show you the how to bake and how to do in the skillet, I would like to go over a couple of flavor ideas for you. This one we're doing here is just chicken and salsa. You could also do, I have linked on the video a buffalo chicken, which is going to be a little bit, instead of salsa, buffalo wing sauce. You could add a little blue cheese and use some mozzarella cheese. That's a really fun filling as well. Little tiny baby shrimps and avocados is a great one. We also like to do like chicken and black beans. I think the black beans are really small, so it makes them easier for them to kind of work in the filling of a quesadilla. Another one of my favorites is barbecue chicken with shredded Gouda cheese. Gouda has a really cool flavor, and it does a really good job of working. The flavor pairs and complements the barbecue flavor when you're making a barbecue chicken. So I just wanted to share. Oh, and also like a fajita of some kind. So fajitas often have peppers and onions, and then some sort of either chicken, beef, shrimp. And so you could do small pieces or thin sliced pieces of beef or shredded chicken like this with some small peppers and onions. You'd want to cut those up pretty small. Again, you want to think small for your filling, because you don't want a lumpy quesadilla, because then it's harder to bite into, and the cheese, it takes a little bit longer. If it's lumpy, it takes a little bit longer for the cheeses to all melt through. All right, are we ready to get started, my friend? Okay. Christina, I only have 1 set of ingredients today, so we won't be able to vote. We had 3 pasta options yesterday. We should have voted for cheeses for grilled cheese last week. Okay, I said I was going to show you the oven version first. I need to clean my pan. Yes, I see that. So what we want to do, Bubba, could you please spray? I want to do a non-stick cooking spray on here. Just to make sure that the tortillas do not stick to this, because they're going to be a little heavy and with the ingredients inside, and we do not want them to stick. Nancy, that is perfect. I actually had to ration these tortillas. We used them last week for the shredded chicken tacos, and then I put them in the freezer so I could save them for this lesson today, because I don't think I would have been able to find them if I didn't save and ration these. Okay, could you spray this evenly? Perfect. Now I want you, He did. It's very common for kiddos to do this, and it's okay. He got really close. I want you to bring the can up a little further up, so that it will spray more evenly. Not too far, but a little further up. And you kind of got to move it. There we go. That's good. That's good. You got to move it around so that you coat the surface. Okay. So quesadillas, I'm going to show you how to build them. Put a tortilla up there, please. Okay. There's actually two options here. And I'm not going to mix the cheese in here. One of the things you could do is mix a little cheese in with the chicken. And that just helps all the cheese sort of come together. So that's one option. I'm going to do cheese, chicken, cheese, kind of in a layered format. And actually the way that I make these on the skillet and for the oven is a little bit different. So I want you to pay close attention to the differences. Maybe there'll be a pop quiz at the end. Probably not, but pay close attention. So you could add some shredded cheese in here, but we're not going to do that. So what I want you to do, Mister, the cheeses that you could use here, there is a, what do you call it? There is a quesadilla cheese blend, if you will. It's a white cheese. It's got a couple of different cheeses mixed into it, kind of the traditional Tex-Mex Mexican cheeses. Mozzarella is a good choice. It also kind of depends on what your sort of flavor preference is, if you will. Cheddar cheese works just fine. I think that the mozzarella cheese works well for the like the buffalo chicken one I mentioned earlier. I think cheddar would be fine with like a fajita. I think cheddar is fine with this chicken that we're doing here that's just chicken and salsa. So really, today I would say use whatever cheese you have. If you have a cheddar or a mozzarella or a quesadilla blend, use any of those. They're all going to work. And this is, again, kind of like grilled cheeses we talked about last week. This is a really fun and easy way to kind of play with flavors. One of the things I really want all of you guys, my kiddos especially, to learn is that how these different things taste and how these types of recipes and these types of cooking, strategies and methods that I've been teaching you, you can kind of mix and match ingredients to get it exactly how you want. So you could kind of have a fun time playing with different ingredients to get your favorite quesadilla or your favorite grilled cheese. Or last week we did shredded chicken tacos, right? So it's just an opportunity. And I want you to see that food is kind of flexible and fun, and you can kind of make it work for you. So here's what we're gonna do, Bubba. A pinch of cheese onto the quesadilla, a big pinch, a bigger pinch. My pinch and Austin's pinch are different. And we want it to cover the whole part. So cover, there we go. Now we're talking. It's more like a fistful. Okay. Now, actually, I should have told you to put it on half. I told you wrong, Austin. I'm sorry. Can we press rewind? We can't because this is live. We're going to do this. I meant to tell you to put it on half, and I didn't. So can you put it on this half? My bad, guys. I'm sorry. We're going to fold these. You can put a quesadilla, like a whole quesadilla. You can do that. But I think that when they're folded, it helps get the cheese all perfectly matched in there. All right. Now what we need to add is a little bit of our chicken mixture. So can you scoop some chicken? And we'll have to kind of spread it out. Can you get it out of there? This is why we needed, nope, put it on top of the cheese. This is why we needed the chicken to be kind of small. Remember how I talked about small? Because we don't want it to be too lumpy. Okay, that's probably enough, Bubba. That's perfect. So now what we need to do is kind of even it out. So we want to even this out kind of like this. Just kind of even it out because we want every bite of this quesadilla to have a little chicken, okay? And you know what? I'm gonna take one piece away because I think we have a little too much there. And then what we need to do is sprinkle a teeny tiny bit more cheese just on the top. Not a whole fistful, but just enough to kind of cover the chicken. Cheesylicious is right, Shelly. Oh, Mrs. McConnell says hi and she misses you. Oh, I know, we miss we're gonna do a Zoom call. We've been doing Zoom calls with school friends and we're gonna be doing Zoom calls with teachers soon. Okay, now this is loaded. So now what we need to do is fold this in half and carefully, and press it down, very good. What I like to do here, because more of the cheese is on the bottom than we put on the top, what I like to do is I like to first bake it by flipping it upside down. So I'm gonna do this so I can show you. So now the cheese is on the top. I know we're gonna flip this later, but now most of that cheese is on the top. So as it's melting, it's going to kind of drip down in between all the chicken pieces, and then it'll be perfectly cheeselicious on the inside. Okay, do you wanna make another one? All right, I have an idea. For the sake of time for our video, so we can get these in the oven, can I make one at the same time that you make one? Would that be okay with you? All right, can I help you do that? All right, Austin, you start filling up a half. Oh, good, I like how you gave yourself a marker. And I'm gonna do a half, and we'll get this cookie sheet loaded up real quick. Perfect. All right, you do your half and I'll do my half. If you need to kind of press these down to get these even, you can do that. I'm gonna try and snuggle these together so we can get lots of quesadillas here. Nancy, I love the idea of grilled chicken. I'm sorry, green chilies. I'm looking at the chicken and thinking green chilies and it came out wrong. All right. We make a good team, Austin, don't we? All right, and I believe that our oven is preheated. I think we could probably get 6 on here, Bubba. What do you think? I want to get these in the oven, and then I'm going to show you how you can also make these in the skillet. I want to teach you both ways. Good job flipping. Here, can we turn it so it's like that? I like to do them in the oven when we're making a whole lot. So I'm going to put these in the oven at 400 degrees for 7 minutes. Then we'll take the pan out, flip them over so that they can kind of brown and crisp up on both sides of the quesadilla. I know sometimes I've seen where you can brush kind of butter on top of here. You could do that. I don't think that's necessary. We sprayed the pan, so there's already a little bit of grease on there. All right, we can't use all of this because we need to keep some for our skillet. So why don't we do these last 2 and then we'll pop them in the oven, buddy. What do you think? Think that's a good idea? All right. So we have our shredded chicken and we have our salsa and taco seasoning, and then we're just using cheddar cheese because that's what we have. Oh, okay, we're gonna do one more. Let's see how we can get these all cozy in here. Let's put one more right there and then we'll be good. Jackson wants to have them. They are super delicious, Jackson. I hope that you can make them super soon. Jackson, I'm going to show you how to do this so when you want a snack just for yourself, you can just make them in the skillet instead of doing a big batch like this in the oven. All right, Bubba, put that guy right here. Perfect. Aren't you a professional? Let me get out of your way, my bad. I'm supposed to not be in your way, huh? I told everybody that and then I didn't do it. He just made a face, you guys. He was super cute. He made a face. You made a face. All right, so I need you to put these in the oven, please. Because the pan is not hot yet, I'm not gonna have him using oven mitts, but we will need oven mitts when we flip these around. Ready? Can you put them on the top rack? I think we gotta spin the pan. Be very careful. Perfect. All right, timer, please. Kitchen timer. 7. Start. Okay, so now we have our timer on, and we are gonna switch gears and show you the skillet, and then I'll show you how we're gonna cut these up after we are finished. You guys ready for the skillet? Hit me up with some hearts if you're ready for the skillet. So now you're gonna know how to make just one for yourself, okay? Ooh, and we're running out of tortillas too. All right, here's where I need you to pay close attention. I need you, and we need more cheese here. I need you to really, really, really watch the heat level of your skillet. We're gonna start probably medium to medium high, and if you need to turn it down because your quesadilla gets too dark or too brown, go ahead and turn it down. Every stove top is a little bit different. Gas is different from electric. So I need you to be right here and be paying close attention, just like the grilled cheese. We can't put it on and walk away. We got to stay really close by, okay? So here is what we need to know about the skillet quesadilla. The first thing we need to do is turn on the heat, okay? So can you come and turn this on to level 6? I actually have not made quesadillas on this particular stove because this is our rental house and I'm not sure. We've done grilled cheese and we've done a few other things, but we'll see. We're gonna start at 6. Okay, so you wanna turn it to where it says light and then turn it to where it says 6. Put the 6 right by that red dot. Moms, dads, grandmas, whoever is supervising your kiddos, make sure they know exactly how to do that on your stove top. If you don't think they're ready to turn on the heat, then you go ahead and do it for them. All right, we want that to heat up for maybe 30 seconds. And what I prefer to use butter. I just like the extra touch of creaminess that butter adds. We don't need a lot of butter. We probably only need 1 little sliver of butter. Maybe more than that one. Can you cut a new sliver here? Can you cut a new one? Like right here? Perfect. Cut down, straight down. And then we're gonna drop that into the skillet. It might be, is it soft? There you go, slide it off the edge. That's right, Ginger, you would approve. Everything is better with butter. You could use oil, you could use olive oil, butter. But I think we need a little bit more than that because this skillet's kind of big. You could do those 2 pieces too. Now remember, this pan is hot, moms, dads, kids. You gotta pay close attention. You don't wanna touch it and burn yourself. If you are making your quesadilla in a skillet, you want to have your filling already made and your cheese standing by because this is going to be very quick, okay? Let's do 1 more slice just to get a little bit more coverage. You can see there's a few spots here that aren't covered. We want good melty butter here for the tortilla. Can you kind of get it in the middle here? Careful, that might be hot. All right, I think that's good. And it's gonna start to bubble. So that means it's almost time for our tortilla. So I like to assemble the quesadilla in the skillet. If you want to assemble it on the side and transfer it, you can, but you run the risk of ingredients falling out, okay? So what we're gonna do, and I also have right here, it was right here, where'd it go? Oh, it's right here. The spatula. You wanna have one of these nearby as well. So we have everything ready to go right here nearby. The first thing we're gonna do is put the tortilla down into the middle of the skillet. I'm gonna turn our heat up a smidge. Okay, it can move around because we have it nicely coated. The next thing we're gonna do is grab a fistful of cheese and spread it over the entire tortilla. Okay. Can you get a little tiny bit more for this section? Can you see that? Very good. And obviously the cheese that came around, those are going to be little cheese crisps. You can eat those too. So what we want to happen is we want this butter, we just want a thin layer. We want that to start to melt. Once we see that, this is where the fast part happens. Once we see that starting to melt, we need to add our chicken. Bubba, do you want to scoop some chicken and get that ready? Here, let's move you over a little bit. There we go. All right, so you can see the cheese is already starting. It's hard to see, I know, from the camera's kind of far away. The cheese is starting to melt right here. So go ahead and put the chicken. You can put it on one side, like we did the oven ones. And very carefully, if you need to move any chicken around, you know, this is getting hot here, you're gonna wanna use a fork. Remember, we don't want lumpy quesadillas, okay? So now what I want you to do, Austin, is add one more pinch full of cheese right on top of the chicken. Here's where, if you've got younger kiddos, Austin is 7, and I'll help him with this. If older kiddos could do this himself. This is where you're going to, he's gonna help me. He's got his hand on this too. We're gonna fold and press. And we want this side to brown. We wanna press that in. We want that side to brown, and then we'll flip it. If you don't want these cheese crisps, you can just kind of crunch them off. Okay. These are gonna get too burned. We could try and save these, but I think we'll just shift them over to the side. Well, we gotta flip those. So you wanna press this. We're gonna let that sit for a minute. Make sure you put your handle back over the counter. You don't want your handle out here because you don't wanna run into it and knock your hot pan off. Okay? All right, let's see, we need oven mitts. Do you want me to help you with this? The hot pan? You want me to help you? You do one side, I'll do one side? All right, watch right here. Okay, let me show you guys what we have here. All right, let me grab it, Bubba, so I can put it under the camera. Okay, here's what we have. That's one round in the oven. So I'm gonna let those sit because we need to flip that. Can you flip that for me? This is where the heat level is really gonna matter. See, that's pretty brown, okay? So I'm gonna turn this heat back down. Can you press that again for me? Can you press that? And then we're gonna take it off onto a plate. Can you press that? See, you can, no, press it like this. Press, press, press. Press. Oh, the cheese is just oozing out, guys. Oozing out. If you're only making one, turn off your skillet quick, okay? Yes, I hear you. All right, look at this. Hang on, bear with me here. You guys ready for this? Can you see the cheese just oozing out of there? Oh, so good. Okay, so that's that one. Now, you're gonna help me actually, Austin. I'm gonna just set this right on top of here because for the sake of space, Bubba, this is hot, okay? Leave that there for you. Let's flip these. Yes, Nancy, this is so much faster to do them in bulk this way because the skillet I don't prefer to make even grilled cheese. I don't like to make two. I'll get out the griddle if I'm making grilled cheese in bulk because the pan just gets too hot and then the butter starts to brown and, okay, watch Bubba. And then you're gonna do one. Ready? We need to flip this. This side is crispy. We need to flip this so this side will get crispy. Can you flip all these over for me? This pan is hot. be careful. Can you scoop all the way under there? Don't touch them because they're hot. If you need to grab one of the quesadillas, you can use an oven mitt. There you go. Flip it like that. Yep, perfect. Nancy, the oven is 400 degrees. I do 7 minutes on one side and then 7 minutes on the other side. Uh-oh, there we go. He saved it. Okay, so we've got 3 flipped, 4. You can see the cheese crisps on the edge. That looks really yummy too. All right, and then we're gonna put these back in the oven and then I'm gonna show you how I cut them. We gotta flip these 2. You got it? It's slightly off camera, and I can't really move because I'm holding this hot pan for him, but you can see he is grabbing the quesadillas with, you want to show them, grab that one with the oven mitt and show them under the camera up here. Point it over here. So hold it down. So he's actually using an oven mitt to grab the quesadilla because they're hot, okay? Perfect. All right, so let's put these, actually, I think that one, we flipped it backwards. We didn't flip it. Let's flip it. All right, back in the oven for 7 more minutes. Perfect. All right. All right. Let's move the stool out of the way. You guys, thanks for bearing with us. I'm doing this live makes it a little tricky with all the space. Okay, Austin's gonna get one side. I'm gonna get the other. It's super hot. It's 400 degrees. It's real hot, friends. Be careful. Moms, dads, help out. And then we need to do our timer again. So timer, 7, start. Okay. So now that that's back in the oven, so much cheese and so much goodness. I'm going to make a couple more of these to use up these ingredients. I'll do that later. But I want to show you how I cut the quesadilla. Do you remember what we used to cut a quesadilla? Have you ever seen me do that, Bubba? Do you remember what it is? Do you remember what we used? Do you remember? You can absolutely use a knife. Okay, you be careful, that's super sharp. Why don't you set it down over there like before you move your chair to be safe? Thank you. Why don't you go up on your knees on the chair? Safety, safety, guys. Okay, so I like to use the pizza cutter. It's just easy and it's kid-friendly for cutting something like this. So you go for it, dude. Right in half. Susan, you can absolutely do this with corn tortillas the same way, especially around here where they have the thicker corn tortillas. I think those do really well. You might need to, if you were going to bake those, you might need to adjust the cooking time down slightly because corn tortillas dry out a little bit faster than flour tortillas do. So you might do 5 minutes on each side if you were baking them. And then you would want to obviously watch the heat level on your skillet if you're doing it that way. Easy there, sir. Okay, do you think that that quesadilla is cool enough for you to take a bite out of it? You think so? Okay. Why don't you set the pizza cutter down? Should we take a bite together? Hang on, wait. We gotta go over here. Okay, should we have a taste together with our friends? Yeah? And then we have 5 more minutes. So I'm not gonna keep the video going just while we wait for the oven. So we're gonna take a taste of this skillet one. Ooh, it's definitely cooled down. And what do you think? You ready? It's gonna be yummy. It's gone. It's gone. These are gonna be out of here, you guys. So I'm super excited to get to show you. This is the best part about making cheesy things, is getting to do this. Was it yummy? Just the right amount of seasoning? You like the butter. I like, can you taste the little bit of butter on this on the outside, on the tortilla? I can. I think it tastes fantastical. It just adds a little extra touch of creaminess that I think is really perfect. So we're gonna go and get these out of the oven here in a minute. I might make 1 or 2 more here in this skillet to use up some of the rest of our ingredients. Nancy's excited for dinner. Susan's gonna try this with corn tortillas. You guys, thank you for joining us today. We have 2 more lessons coming up this week, and those will be with my oldest son, Ryan. He's gonna do both the lesson with me tomorrow and on Friday, so I hope you'll join us there. I have linked here on the video a couple of different quesadilla recipes that are on the $5 Dinners blog with different kind of flavor combinations, but I just wanted to show you kind of a simple chicken and salsa option that is quick to do for a snack. It makes for a really easy dinner. A lot of these things are really fantastic using up like leftovers that you might have. You can kind of just throw whatever into the middle. So that is what we are having. Nancy, real quick to answer your question, I did not butter the tortillas that go in the oven. You absolutely can brush like melted butter onto both sides before you put them on the dish, or on the baking sheet, but I had greased it pretty well. So we're just gonna let the grease do that trick of, you know, being a little bit of grease on the outside of the tortillas. So that is that for our chicken quesadillas. Do you want to say thanks for joining us, friends?
Yeah. Thanks for joining us, friends.
All right, guys. We'll be back tomorrow at noon Central Time, and I hope you have a good rest of your day and enjoy these quesadillas, and we'll see you soon.